Hello, this is Bug News, and today we're going to talk about Ready to Love, the brand and organization, and did in addition to did Rasheed and Symone mess up the brand, or were they the last straw to messing up the brand? Um, Many people complain and say, some of the relationships don't work out in that aspect, but then there's also they supposed to do background checks on people, and then the people supposed to have good credit and all these things because they're vetting people out to be a good match. And as you know, sometimes credit and things like that can break up a thing, especially later in life. I mean, early in life. What I mean by early, 20, let's say 20, 25, 20, 20, 30. Then as you get over that 32 limit, if your stuff is together, it's hard to get with somebody else whose stuff is not together. But it happens. And then even more when you get over 40 and in your 40s and above and things like that. But excuse me, it happens. But as we found out in Rasheed and Symone case, I didn't watch the season that they were on, but from my understanding, they weren't a match on the show, and they hooked up kind of after the show. I could be wrong about that, but then if we follow this, they both got successful YouTube channels, and then Rasheed had some businesses, and apparently, he was robbing Peter to pay Paul allegedly. So what I mean by that, although he was having these fancy cars, they was part of his business, but he was getting it on credit. I mean, businesses operate on credit, but I'm assuming that a lot of the foundation was from the money in Rasheed case, not necessarily Symone case. Allegedly, was coming from the YouTube channels, and maybe they were reinvesting that money in a business. And Symone had her cape on, ironically, to help her person that she was involved with, but yet they were still digging a hole. And the odd thing was that I think they were having a wedding, and each person had to chip in $3,000. I mean, and he was trying to come up with angles to get the money. $3,000, he could have just drove for Uber, Lyft, deliver some food or something, and he would have had $3,000 like in 2 months, and wouldn't even been in this situation because allegedly that was the straw that broke the camel back. It wasn't the fact that you on this financial strain, but it's the fact that you can't keep your promises. So there was still an avenue for him to keep those promises, not unless his pride was in place and he felt he couldn't do those gig economy jobs. To maintain, keep up with his promise. So in that aspect, this person is supposed to be like a divine nine. And as you know, most of the people that appear on Ready to Love are divine nine, the men, not some of the women, but in the men's case, most of them are Kappas. So, he just embarrassed them in that aspect. And like I said, he's kind of this kind of situations may have hurt the brand, because if you think about it, if they're targeting like I want to use the word bougie, but older audience, because I think most of the people I'm gonna say most of the people, some of the people, probably a professional in nature, when I'm a professional in the stereotypical sense, degree, white collar job, in that aspect. But that's not always the case. It just appears, it's like, well, that shouldn't have been holding you back for the $3,000, especially when you knew months ahead that you're going to be short. So I guess he would have explained his whereabouts. I don't know if they even live together. But as far as the brand, the show, and what they presented, it just seems kind of like it notched the Ready to Love brand in that aspect. And we don't even know if it's all cap, because hey, breakups bring a lot of attention to the channel. He still is running on the channel, getting the numbers up. YouTube numbers are not the same when they are different, than when there was a pandemic, so who knows at this aspect. I mean, at this point in time, I think he said his jury was fake and things like that. Allegedly, I really can't remember all the details, but he went into his family history in that aspect. But I mean, who really cares? And that at that, from my perspective of what people were looking for. And I think it was kind of handled wrong. You really had to come to the internet to bring this up. That's why I say, hey, is it real? Is it fake? Was it just for the numbers? They've been doing a world interview tour or YouTube street interview tour in this aspect to keep that name out there and things like that. Now I wouldn't be surprised they got back together and the ones who swallowed I guess was it the red pill or blue pill? I guess if you swallow the red pill, you're down with it. I think that's what it is. So the ones that swallow the red pill won't really care, and they will be happy and elated because some people can relate, some people can't relate. Let's put it that way. But what do you think? Do you think that these people hurt the brand in that aspect, or do you think that no, they haven't hurt the brand? It's just a common thing. This is a common thing that happens in relationships, whether it be male or female. The one who may be at fault in that aspect. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much, and comment. This is Bug News.